Welcome once again to Three Up and Three Down, where today we will tackle the main slate on DraftKings for college football Saturday. We'll go back to last week. And I've always told you from the time we started this program that we're going to have some good days and some bad days, more good days than bad. And last week was probably more on the bad side. Our three up players were great. Those are players that I felt you needed to pay up for. And our three down players that I believe were undervalued and you should buy. They were not so good as we kind of bust on there, but you're not going to win every week. Anybody that's played DFS for any extended period of time will tell you that. And I can go back and I second guess myself quite a bit and try to figure out where it was I went wrong on the three down picks. And I'm not even going to get into that because it really doesn't matter. We're all about making money. And hopefully that's what we can do again starting this week. Also, I apologize for getting this video out to you a little bit later than normal, as it is now Saturday morning. I had a couple phone calls yesterday that were not returned regarding status of players. And, that's basically it. I don't want to put up anything that I'm going to have to change later, although I will if I notice something. As those of you who have been with me on this show, I will make comments to let you guys know if something happens, closer to kickoff time. Anyways, starting this week, and if you don't know, I am Sweet Lou. If you're enjoying this content and you're winning some money, please hit like, subscribe, send anybody you want to this channel. If you leave me a comment, I will absolutely get back to you as long as it is before 11:15 today, because the last 45 minutes, I'm double checking all of my teams. So first, we're going to start off with the three up players that I believe you need to pay up for to, I think, are going to be bargains, basically. And we're going to start off with quarterback Riley Leonard of Notre Dame, uh, who is playing Virginia. And Riley is 9,500. I really enjoy dual threat quarterbacks in college football. And it doesn't get any better in Leonard. 609 yards and 13 touchdowns on the ground. Add to that Virginia's 119th in pass defense. To me, that means Leonard could have success both ways, on the ground or through the air. Plus, he's been consistent. He has not had under 24 fantasy points in the last 7 games. Next up, we go to our second guy on the three up scale, and that's going to be running back Isaac Brown of Louisville. Louisville plays Stanford this week, and Brown is 6,700. Louisville has the second highest implied total on the slate, and they're also between 19 and 20-point favorites. So they should pull away from this game, and there should be a lot of points scored. While Stanford's defense is awful against the pass, as I said, I expect Louisville to score often, both ways. If the Cardinals get ahead early, it could provide more opportunities for Brown. He is the 10th highest priced running back on the slate. For someone who's more than 24 fantasy points in 4 of his last 5 games, I think that is vastly underpriced. Now, finally, up on our one up or our three up players is going to be quarterback Garrett Green of West Virginia. West Virginia is playing Baylor, and Green is 7,400 on DraftKings. Green has missed the last 2 games with injuries, so you need to check if he's going to start. He's expected to start, but you need to check if that is truly the case before the 4 p.m. kickoff. He is the 28th highest priced quarterback on the slate, but I'm still including him in the three up portion because he's 7,400. This game has shootout written all over it. Green is another dual threat quarterback, as I mentioned, that I really like in this format, and he has over 80 rushing yards in 4 straight games. Now we're going to go to the three down session of the program, where I give you 3 players that I believe are underpriced and will hit value. And we're going to start off with wide receiver Tobias Merriweather of Cal, who is only 4,800. California plays Syracuse. Merriweather came back last week. That was his first game of the season. He's been out with injury. He is a Notre Dame junior transfer and could very well be the top target for the Golden Bears. This game could also be high scoring. In his first game of the year last week, he quickly established himself as at least one of the top aerial threats for California, finishing with 6 catches and a touchdown. Next on the 3 down session, it's going to be running back Jaden Ball of Florida. Florida plays LSU, and Ball is 3,500. Now, everybody knows Florida has struggled offensively most of the year. A lot of that has to do with injuries. Out of nowhere, Ball has likely established himself as a top ball carrier for the Gators. But here's what really pushed me his way. In his last 3 games, he's averaged 19 carries and 86 yards. That is just too much usage to pass up at 3,500, especially against a bad LSU defense. And our last of our 6 players and the last of the 3 on the 3 down will be running back Katron Allen of Penn State, which plays Purdue. Allen is 4,900. I normally hate taking a running back in a committee situation. Allen splits work with Nate Singleton, but steadily Allen has outperformed Singleton and he costs 1,700 less. Purdue can't stop anyone's ground game. In fact, the Boilermakers are last again against the run in this slate. Singleton left last week's game early with an injury, but he did practice this week, I was told. If Singleton is out, Allen is a must start in every format. Even if he plays, I think Allen is at a great price and will hit value. As I mentioned last week, I felt that even going into the week, I felt the picks were a little more difficult than normal. This week, I think we got quite a few bargain players. Even if you don't like the 3 down players that I chose, there are other ones out there, including Isaiah Bond, the wide receiver for Texas, who's only 5,000. He is an NFL caliber player with an NFL caliber quarterback who has yet to really find his stride. Now, Quinn Ewers, the Texas quarterback, threw for 5 touchdowns last week. Bond had a decent game. At some point, I think he establishes himself as the Longhorns' #1 threat. Maybe it happens this week. I'm not quite sold on it yet. That's why I did not put him there. Now, to go back over our 3 up and 3 down, our 3 up players are quarterback Riley Leonard of Notre Dame, running back Isaac Brown of Louisville, and quarterback Garrett Green of West Virginia. Remember, in college football, you have a super flex where you can start 2 quarterbacks on your lineup. For our 3 down players, wide receiver Tobias Merriweather, running back Jaden Ball, and running back Katron Allen. Now, if you like the show, please hit like, subscribe, and if you have any lineup questions prior to the 12 o'clock, let's make it prior to 11:15, as I mentioned before. Please just send me a comment, subscribe if possible, and I will try to answer all of your questions. Until next week, next Saturday, for our next to last week of full college football. This is Sweet Lou, and I hope you win lots and lots of money this week. Have a good day.